What do you guys think about this long search going on for Brian Laundrie in the enormous area of wilderness near his home in Northport, Florida? So it's been going on for days. We know that the parents were playing silly buggers, parking a car there and going and picking up the car, making out like their little son Brian is out there at this park. Is this the only intel that law enforcement are acting on to be out there justifying this extraordinary search? Or have they got other intel, right? They'd better have other intel, because if they're just acting on the shenanigans of the Laundrie family, shame on them, and we are just being all treated like fools. They're using resources, they're endangering their search parties, and they are just adding to the extraordinary farce that is the case of missing person Brian Laundrie, who's now been declared a fugitive. So law enforcement are using the fact that he used Gabby's debit card to be able to make him a fugitive and to hunt him down, and I hope they do. If he is in this park, look, I hope he's come a cropper. I hope he's lying somewhere with 2 broken legs and he's bleeding and mosquitoes and other insects are all at him. But, we need to know, why are the police there other than what the parents have made out as a fact, right? Because let's face it, we don't trust these parents. Now, we could give them the benefit of the doubt, but do they deserve it? Because there's been too much involving them that is questionable to give them a benefit of the doubt, really. Their son came back for a week and then returned to his girlfriend Gabby, and then he's come back without her. So they've been involved for quite a while with whatever's going on between Brian and Gabby and whatever Brian's intentions were. And they've played games. Not saying that getting a criminal lawyer is games, but it's a power move. And I seriously doubt, and I think many other people seriously doubt, that they even clapped eyes on Brian Laundrie, right? I don't think a law enforcement officer even saw him, okay? And I think we need to know, why are these resources being used? There's 8 or there's 16 agencies out there now. And I want to know what else they're doing. Is the Marine Coast Guard out searching? Have they followed up on the other properties that the family have, their assets? Because this family does have resources. I don't think they're incredibly rich or anything, but they are people that have resources. And they have 3 boats that I know of registered to them. Have all of these boats been accounted for? Have they been searched? Are they being tracked? Brian Laundrie is not a survivalist. He needs to be somewhere where he can get supplies. And Bear Grylls would struggle to survive in that wilderness park they're searching for very long, let alone a little Brian Laundrie, right? Human beings, how we are now, we're not equipped physically anymore for the rigors of living wild. I mean, we're animals and we're wild, but we're not equipped to live that way anymore. We've evolved out of that. We're not Neanderthal, we're not Denisovian, we're not Homo erectus, we're not all of these ancestors that were evolved for each of their environments, covered in hair or what have you, right? And we just can't live that way any longer, not for long. So where is Brian, and what intel is law enforcement acting on to justify this search? Because if it's only the bullshit from the Laundrie family, then I think we're all just being taken for a ride. They really are taking the piss. The individuals in the search, it's not their fault, but why are these resources, manpower, equipment, just the money it takes, why are they being used? We need this accountability from law enforcement. Are they just carrying on with this farce because they need to act like they didn't mess up? I mean, that would be ridiculous, right? So I think they should let us know where else they're looking. Are they carrying, I want to know, does Brian Laundrie have a male cousin whose passport he could be using? Anything like that. What else are they doing? What other embassies around the world, particularly, say, Mexico, South America, what other embassies have been contacted? What other agencies are there around the world, particularly down in that northern southern hemisphere, somewhere where Brian Laundrie could get to from Florida in a boat, perhaps at first. Don't you feel like that's more likely? And that the parents are just playing games? It's hard to give them the benefit of the doubt, but I guess we realise that Brian could have lied to them and that they believe him, or at least they want to believe him. So he may have said, Gabby wandered off without me, she never came back, I got frightened, I couldn't find her, I left. Or, Gabby had an accident and she's dead and I'm frightened and I came back, whatever it is. But, what was he planning when he went back to Florida? And are the parents privy from way back then? Did they not want their son to have to raise a child? Was Gabby pregnant? This is just a rumour. We don't know. We will find out. But did they all plot to take her out? Because they didn't want their son tied to a woman he didn't love anymore. Maybe he's told them that she's so crazy and he doesn't want to have her baby and she's refusing to have an abortion or something, They're thinking, oh, here we go. This is a lifetime of a connection to someone. We want him to be free. I mean, are they that sort of sick people? Because Brian is sick. So, yeah. I feel even if they're choosing on the surface to believe him, they must know what he's like. Just like a mother would always know this, her son's homosexual. I think a mother knows when their son is a sociopath. And maybe it just takes one to know one, and they don't see anything wrong with his behaviours. I don't know. But what do you think about this search? This is millions of dollars. Search groups, we don't really seem to have many positive outcomes. Can you think of any searchers, big search groups that have actually found someone? Have they found Erica Lloyd? Have they found Summer Wells? When was the last time one of these searches was actually successful? We all talk about them as their heroes. The only group that I can think of that's finding people are Adventures with Purpose, who do locate vehicles. They bring them out and, sometimes there's a body inside the vehicle and the mystery is solved and people can have closure. And I don't think we hear often of people being, found by these search and rescue groups. Anyway, so I want to know what justification law enforcement are using to carry on this search at the park, other than this intel from the parents. Do you think there has to be something and that it's justified and that they are going to find Brian out there? Or do you think it's just a big joke? I don't know. Anyway, speak to you later.